The billionaire thought she had already bought everything money could buy: the best doctors, the most advanced machines, the finest hospitals in the world. Yet her daughter still couldn't walk. Then one night, a tired single dad with nothing but faith, patience, and a broken past did something no doctor ever dared to promise. And when the mother saw her daughter stand up for the first time, she collapsed to the floor, crying uncontrollably, because the miracle didn't come from money. He was just a janitor cleaning floors after midnight, until a wheelchair rolled into his life and changed everything forever. Daniel Cross had once dreamed of a normal life. A simple one. A wife who smiled at him across the dinner table. A daughter who waited for him by the window when he came home from work. But life didn't ask him what he wanted. It took his wife in a sudden accident and left him standing alone with a 5-year-old boy and a heart heavy with grief. From that day forward, Daniel became both father and mother, protector and provider, teacher and comforter. He worked 2 jobs, sometimes 3, surviving on exhaustion and prayer. By day, he repaired broken furniture in a small workshop. By night, he cleaned a private rehabilitation hospital owned by one of the wealthiest women in the country, Evelyn Hart. The hospital was famous, spotless, silent, and filled with technology that looked more expensive than Daniel's entire life. He never complained. He just cleaned, nodded politely, and disappeared into the shadows. That's where he first saw Lily. She was 10 years old, pale and fragile, sitting quietly in her wheelchair by the therapy room window. Her legs were thin and unmoving. A spinal condition since birth had left her unable to walk, and no surgery had ever helped. Most people avoided eye contact with her, as if disability were contagious. But Daniel didn't. He smiled. Always smiled. At first, Lily just stared back. Then one night she asked him a simple question that cracked his heart open. "Why do you always smile, even when you're tired?" Daniel paused, leaning on his mop. "Because someone needs to," he said softly. From that night on, Lily waited for him. She told him about her loneliness, about how doctors spoke over her head, about how her mother loved her but was always busy fighting the world with money. Daniel listened. He never rushed. He treated her like a person, not a problem to fix. What Lily didn't know was that Daniel's late wife had once been a physical therapy assistant. Daniel had spent years helping her practice techniques at home. Gentle stretches. Muscle memory. Emotional encouragement. Not miracles, just patience. One night, when Lily complained about pain in her legs, Daniel hesitated. He wasn't a doctor. He was just a janitor. But something in his heart whispered that silence was worse than trying. "Would you like me to show you something?" he asked. She nodded. What happened next would quietly begin the impossible. The doctor said, "Impossible." The machine said, "No response." But the little girl felt something move, and her mother would soon fall to her knees. Daniel never touched Lily without permission. He showed her breathing techniques first. Then tiny muscle activation movements, barely visible. Every night, just a few minutes. No pressure. No false promises. Just consistency and kindness. Lily trusted him because he never lied. Weeks passed. Then months. One night, Lily gasped. "Mr. Daniel." "I felt it." He froze. "Felt what?" "My toes," she whispered, eyes wide. They moved. Daniel didn't celebrate. He didn't panic. He simply nodded and said, "Good. That means we keep going." But someone was watching. Evelyn Hart, Lily's mother, had always trusted money more than people. After losing her husband years earlier, she built walls of wealth around herself and her daughter, believing it was protection. But one night, passing by the therapy room, she saw something that shattered her certainty. Her daughter was laughing. Not politely. Not quietly. Laughing freely, while a janitor knelt in front of her wheelchair, guiding her legs gently, speaking to her like a father. Security rushed in. Accusations followed. Doctors protested. Evelyn demanded answers. Daniel stood still, ready to be fired, arrested, erased. Then Lily did something no one expected. She pushed herself up. Just inches. Shaking. Trembling. But standing. The room went silent. Evelyn's knees buckled. Tears streamed down her face as she whispered her daughter's name over and over, unable to breathe. Years of wealth, years of specialists, years of control, all collapsed in that moment. Doctors later confirmed it wasn't magic. It was something rarer. Human connection. Trust. Persistence. Evelyn offered Daniel money. A fortune. He refused. "I didn't do this for payment," he said quietly. "I did it because no child should feel invisible." Instead, Evelyn funded a free therapy program, one built on compassion, not profit, and asked Daniel to lead it. Not as a janitor. Not as a hero. But as a man who believed when no one else did. On the day Lily took her first full steps, she ran into Daniel's arms, and Evelyn cried harder than she ever had in her life. Because the greatest miracle wasn't that her daughter walked. It was realizing that love, not money, was what healed her all along. Sometimes the miracle you're praying for isn't waiting in a hospital, or a bank account, or a title. Sometimes it's waiting in the hands of someone who simply refuses to give up on you.